Motogp 25 is Milestone's 13th straight Motogp game. This year sees all new features as well as a jump to the Unreal Engine 5. So let's get down to business. Is this year's title worth your hard-earned cash? Let's find out. With the jump to the Unreal Engine 5, a lot of people were expecting a much more different looking GP25. The switch from the UE4 to the UE5 has seen some nice improvements to the lighting, but has not been groundbreaking. But in reality, this was always going to happen. Think of the jump to the Unreal Engine 5 as an update to the previous engine, allowing Milestone to expand on creative ability. But it has one major drawback. GP25 is now a pretty resource intensive title. I have seen countless people complaining about not having a smooth experience, with GP25 being much harder to run optimally. It is fair to say Milestone has never gotten their AI perfect in the last decade, so coming into Motogp 25, I had very little hope that they would improve significantly. Once again, as the player, it feels like the AI is on a separate physics system and can simply do things you as the player cannot. If realistic AI is important to you, then look away now. On the higher difficulty levels, the AI is seconds faster in the lower classes, has superior top speed, and has the ability to enter every corner faster than the player. This can lead to annoyances due to the AI pulling their typical dive to the apex, leading more often than not to picking the bike out of the gravel. In GP24, the adaptive AI was introduced, and for my testing, it has been improved in GP25, but it still has its limitations. The AI rubber banding is still far too obvious to the player, which can ruin immersion, which is critical in a MotoGP game. Compared to the AI of MotoGP 24, I would say they're a tad bit better in GP25, but unfortunately leave a lot to be desired. Once again, Milestone have added more depth and layers to their previous iterations of career modes, with the additions of training bikes in Motogp 25. Throughout the season, you will be called upon to go flat track, supermoto or mini bike training with your rivals, gaining fitness and prestige in the process. The new game modes are fun, but are limited by some strange decisions in the physics department, as well as there only being 2 tracks in the game at launch for these extra modes. Also new is the debriefs at the end of the weekends. It's not massively different, but adds a touch of realism to the bike development. For me, career mode has moved on again from Motogp 24, just enough for it not to feel stale after completing multiple seasons in GP24. Now, as most of you know, physics is my bread and butter. I've been very critical of Milestone over the last 3 games on what is wrong with their physics base. I've now come to the conclusion that GP games are going more to the arcade side than the sim side of the coin. So what's that mean for this year's game? Overall, it's a step forward on GP24. Vibration has been reworked and is much improved when it works, as it is very buggy at launch, as some platforms are still without vibration even after 3 weeks of launch and 1 update. Bikes are much looser in braking in 25. The numbness in trail braking into the corner is reduced a lot. The ride height device has been reworked and finally works as it should, and also wheelies are much more controllable. It is fair to say GP25 is far easier than its predecessors, but that isn't exactly a bad thing. I do like to remind people that it is a game, and just because it's easier doesn't mean it's automatically worse. Motogp 25 is the first game to have full crossplay between PC and console, which has been something for us PC players we have been begging for years. It does come with one massive drawback, and that is now that we are limited to 12-man lobbies compared to the previous 24 of games gone by. For me, it's pretty annoying that lobbies are so small now, as it very much limits what can be done. Overall, the gameplay online seems to be improved, as there seems to be overall less lag in most lobbies, which is something of course that is really important in a racing game. There is still the occasional disconnect, but when you are playing with people all over the globe, this is expected. Motogp 25's online is a step forward, but still can be plagued of days gone by. After Motogp 21, Milestone have lost their way slightly overall with the physics and gameplay. Motogp 25 is a step back in the right direction, but comes with a lot of bugs in the opening launch window. The improvements that have been made have been overshadowed by countless bugs that have really ruined the launch of the game for a lot of the community. I can see GP25 going down as a good game, but for now it still remains as a bit of a buggy mess with the potential to be the best GP game in many moons. This is by far the most enjoyment I've had in the opening month of a GP game since Motogp 21. My final verdict of Motogp 25 is 8.5 out of 10, which, considering how many negative things I listed in this review, is quite a good score.